kicks on his feet. He looks up and gives me a grin and says,
"Hey dude, you too must be from Marin."
Marin County's A-OK, from Tampa, Stinson, all the way to MA. Fresh organic veggies in the market every day. The Dennis, Dylan, and NWA.
Welcome back to the Run TMC podcast. Usually Duffy says this part, but it's your friend Dave. This is episode 2 of the week of interviews, a New Year's gift for our guests. But first...
What time is it?
Oh, Duffy, I believe it's sponsor time, according to my watch.
You and I are keeping the same time today. Dave, I love it. All right, I'm going to jump in with Caren Horstmeyer, and here is a little preview. She is one of our interviews that we're going to be releasing. So Thank you, Caren, for a great interview, but also for being a great sponsor. So here we go. You probably heard this before, Dave. Just like Caren's coached athletes to victory, she's here to coach you to a successful real estate sale. Ready to sell your home or know someone who is? Caren brings the same expertise, strategy, and commitment to every real estate transaction as your trusted real estate advisor. She'll create a winning game plan for you for purchasing and or selling your home. Call Caren today at 415-794-4311. That is 415-794-4311, exclamation point.
Duffy, beautifully read. Our next sponsor, North Bay Basketball Academy, our friends at NBBA. NBBA provides quality instruction in all aspects of basketball with an emphasis on fundamentals and skill development. Head over to www.northbaybasketball.com for more information on upcoming camps, skill sessions, team opportunities, travel opportunities. NBBA does a great job. Thank you for being a sponsor, North Bay Basketball Academy.
Thank you, NBBA. And the Bambauer tournament, as we know, Dave, was initially started by Rick Winter, who also founded NBBA.
Correct.
Good job, Rick. All right, we're moving on to the Hub. By the time these interviews come out, Dave, it will be a little bit too late to go see Haley Ballard at the Hub, but they have other people who can do that job and serve you grass-fed burgers, hand-cut fries, and shakes. They can pour you a field work. You can sit there. There's going to be great company. There's almost always someone in there who's watching a game or talking about a game. It's just a Hub in San Anselmo. So if you haven't been, check it out. If you have been, come on back. And we love the Hub. Thank you, Hub. And stay true to us, Hub.
Beautiful. Thank you, Hub. Thank you, Haley Ballard. And finally, last but not least, Jessie and Laurent. Jessie and Laurent is a gourmet, ready-to-eat meal delivery service facilitating family meals throughout the Bay Area, Sacramento, and North Tahoe region. Been feeding families for more than 40 years with their delicious and healthy heat and serve meals. You simply heat and serve the pre-made meals delivered right to your doorstep. Don't forget the special Run TMC listener code. Enter TMC20, no space, for $20 off your first order. Thank you, Jessie and Laurent.
So the 20 in TMC20 signifies $20 off. Is that right, Dave?
That is correct.
Okay, got it.
That is correct.
Great. Well, we're going to get on with this, but first we want to remind our listeners to check out our website at therunTMCpodcast.com, to email us at therunTMCpodcast@gmail.com. We are still looking for correspondence. We will soon be putting out a big sponsor drive. So if you're interested, reach out to us. Check out Dave on Insta. A lot of good content there. And keep listening.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
So we're going to roll into interviews. There'll be really brief intros, and then we'll get into it. And then interspliced, as I said before, Dave, we'll have a few sounds from the Bambauer tournament, including friends of the pod, Mike Saya and Daryl Rory. Thanks, everyone. All right, I'm here at Marin Catholic with two former CYO players that I coached last year, Oliver Myers and Chase Hatch. They're now playing varsity for the MC team. They got a good win last night. And we are here with the Bambauer tournament. And just give us a quick take on the Bambauer. Ollie?
It's really good seeing like all 16 teams come out and play competitive, good basketball. Yeah, it's a great tournament.
I'm kind of going to echo that. It's really good seeing really good competitive basketball, close games, good games. It's kind of fun to be out here a couple days after Christmas, just playing ball.
All right. Next question, bonus question. Compare and contrast Coach Scott Tachiki and Coach Mike Saya.
Both very smart coaches, take the game into very high detail. That's what I like about both of them.
Very good answer. Compare and contrast Coach Tom Poser and Coach Mike Saya.
I'm going to say almost echo all again. Very good coaches, smart coaches, know the game of basketball a lot.
There he went. Coach walked by.
They bring different aspects to the game. I think Saya's a really good coach for practices in game, and Tom's really good technique and just basketball smartness.
Great, love it. Thank you guys, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're excited to get on to our next interview in our week of interviews. We have a very special guest here, Caren Horstmeyer, legendary Marin basketball player, the pride of Redwood and Santa Clara, also a sponsor of our podcast, obviously, but we really enjoyed having this conversation with Caren. I thought it was a great interview. Duff, what do you think?
How did you know that she was a sponsor of the podcast, Dave? Is it because we've been reading her copy episode after
I think
episode?
it's because you're so eloquent when you read that copy, Duff.
You're welcome. Yeah, I really enjoyed meeting Coach Horstmeyer at her office in Bon Air. It was a great interview, good time. We even got around to drawing up one of her favorite plays at the end of the interview. That was a good culmination of our time together. And Dave, I also just want to mention, like in her bio, that her stated goal was to go play tennis at UCLA. And then she went to Redwood as a ninth grader. She'd never played basketball before she got hooked on it, and the rest is history. So parents, kids out there, it's never too late to pick up the sport of basketball. Don't focus too early. See if the sport's for you. Try it out. It's the best in the world, as we know, Dave.
Absolutely. Enjoy the interview.
Caren, nice to see you.
Great to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
We're thrilled to be here. So we're joined by Caren Horstmeyer, maiden name Karen Chapelis, legend from Redwood. Duff, we've used the word legend a lot in this podcast. In this case, it is truly apt. I knew of you, Caren, when I was a kid. One of the greatest players, men or women, to ever play in Marin. Amazing career as a coach. So let me go through your background here for our listeners. Caren went to Redwood from 1976 to 1980, was all everything at Redwood. We're going to talk about her time at Redwood. She went on to play Division I basketball at Santa Clara. She set numerous records. She's in the Santa Clara Hall of Fame. 32 points in a single game. Not bad.
Versus UOP, I think it was.
That counts. We love UOP. Scored just under 1,500 career points, played in 107 games, just a legend for the Broncos. She then went on to play pro basketball in Greece for 2 years, where she led the league in scoring and was team MVP both years. She then came back stateside and was an assistant coach. So you were at Santa Clara for a year, right, as an assistant?
As a volunteer.
Volunteer.
Assistant, had a couple other jobs at the same time.
Okay, multitasking. And then USF for a year?
USF as a grad assistant with Bill and Mary.
I was going to ask who, I see Mary a lot because she beats us every year when she's coaching university. And I'm at San Domenico. She's an amazing coach. So very cool. And then Caren got her own head coaching gig. She went back to Santa Clara and was the head coach at Santa Clara for the women from 1988 to 2000. So a great run. She won 221 games. She went to 4 NCAA tournaments. She won a women's NIT title. You won 6 West Coast Conference regular season titles and 2 WCC tournament titles. So just an amazing run at Santa Clara, which is awesome. She also, I want to talk about this, Caren, was on the selection committee for the 1996 women's U.S. Olympic team. A historic team, amazing team. There's a great ESPN documentary about that team called Dream On that I recommend everybody watch. Caren then went to Cal Berkeley for 5 seasons as head coach from 2000 to 2005. So she had some Pac-10 experience back when the Pac-10 existed. And then, so about a 20-year run coaching, Caren, right? And then you left coaching and you've been involved in basketball ever since. You have a thriving real estate business. You're a mom. You have a family. But she's been a prominent figure in Marin hoops really her whole life. She runs the Horstmeyer basketball camps for girls in the summers at Redwood. They're fantastic camps. She's a frequent speaker and guest coach for youth and high school programs. She's a mentor to players. She's just, she's a legend. So we're very honored to have her. We're grateful to have her as a sponsor to this podcast, which is awesome. She was one of our first listeners. She texted me right away, said, I love this. I want to be a part of it. All right, this is a mouthful. She's a member of the West Coast Conference Hall of Fame, the Santa Clara University Hall of Fame, the Redwood Hall of Fame, and the Marin Athletic Foundation Hall of Fame. And very cool, just last weekend, her sister, Christine, was also inducted into the Marin Athletic Foundation Hall of Fame. So very cool. Duffy.
I'm going to go out and put it out there that by sponsoring this podcast, you have gone from legend to icon.
Well,
I love it.
Approved. Approved. And then the last thing I'll say, and then I'm tired of hearing me talk, I want to hear Caren talk, is Caren is married with 2 kids, and her daughter Kylie, phenomenal player at Redwood, and is just like her mom playing Division I basketball at University of San Diego. I loved taking my daughter Lucy, who's now a freshman at Redwood. When she was younger in our team, we would go watch Kylie play at Redwood when she was playing for Diane. Kylie's a god to my daughter, and a great kid. She worked out with my daughter a couple times, and it's fun to watch Kylie thrive at the D1 level. So Caren has this unique perspective as she played D1, she coached D1, and now she's a parent of a D1 player. So I want to talk about all that. All right, Caren, let's hear from you. So I read an article on you, and it shocked me that when you went to Redwood as a freshman in 1976, you hadn't really played basketball. Is that true?
That really is true. I had a friend say when I got to Redwood, hey, why don't you go out for basketball? But I had a passion for tennis, and I was going to be a tennis player at UCLA.
Okay.
That was my goal. My aunt and uncle, my uncle was a professor at UCLA, and my aunt and uncle got me into tennis, and that was my passion.
So did you play at Redwood? Did you play basketball and tennis at Redwood?
I played 4 years of tennis at Redwood.
Okay.
But then I had a friend that said, come on, let's go out for basketball. And I said, well, I really haven't played. And we went out and I made varsity. Grateful to that coach that put me on varsity because I was scared to death to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
But I could rebound and I was aggressive. And so I guess she saw a place for that. And my friend also made the team. And as 2 freshmen, we made the team. And at that moment, I developed a passion for basketball, and tennis went on the back burner.
So at that time, I'm interested in the kind of the women's hoops landscape in Marin in the 70s, because we talked to Jeff Skaggs, who's a great guy who played at MC in the 70s, and he has had daughters, he's a big proponent of women's basketball, and I asked him, what was the girls' game like in the 70s? And he said, honestly, it wasn't that big a thing. Like, he wasn't that aware of it. And I asked you this same question. You said that's true. So in the 70s, when you start to play and now you start to get good, what's the league like? Do people come to your games? When were your games? Like, I'm just curious about.
Well, yeah, I'm old, right? So that's a long time ago to remember, but it wasn't even really up and coming at that point, right? Yeah. It was just parents and maybe some friends, and every now and then it was a friend's student.
Okay.
When did we play? Anytime between probably 5 and 6, and it was opposite the boys.
Okay.
So there were never double headers. There was never anything like that. It was its own kind of entity.
And
And it was just so different.
Yeah. But you were really good, right? So at what point did you get really good? So you said your freshman year, you're a rebounder, you're doing the little things. At what point do you realize, hey, I can score?
Well, I scored 33 points, I think it was, my freshman year. And I'd be under the basket, get the rebound, I'd turn around scared to death and throw the ball out.
Okay.
And I was new to basketball, so I worked my butt off. It became my passion. I only played tennis on the tennis team and once in the summer.
Okay.
And I ended up playing doubles for 4 years.
Yeah.
And so when basketball became my passion, I just practiced. My father was into it. He'd take me to the playgrounds in the city.
Okay.
We'd play in the playgrounds in the city. We'd play with my brother. My sister was 6.5 years younger, so that didn't necessarily play in.
Yeah.
And I worked hard enough to become the leading scorer sophomore year on.
Very cool. And did you have, so you said your dad helped you, did you have other coaches who were instrumental for you, or was it kind of you just doing it yourself?
That early, it was me doing it myself, and my father always saying, and he'd say, you got to play one-on-one, you got to play one-on-one, you got to fake before you do anything.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I would say, and when you asked me about for younger kids, my footwork was naturally good because of tennis.
Tennis, yeah.
And I credit tennis because I always had great footwork, and I think that's where all your skills start. And I had that from tennis. So, I would say that. Then my father, he never said no because I wanted to go out all the time, and he, would go out with me. But there was one other coach in particular that was, maybe game-changing is Pete Hayward at Drake. And Pete Hayward was a men's coach. However, he embraced me probably from junior year on. He embraced me to come over and play with the guys. So he let me, and no women, trust me, no women were playing with the guys in that era. Okay, but he let me play with the guys. I used to work his camps while I was still in high school.
Pirate camps.
Pirate camps. Outstanding camps, still are.
Yep.
And he taught me many things. One thing in particular was a jump hook that at 5'7", right?
Yeah.
A rebounder at 5'7", I could score with a jump hook over people and he taught me that, among other things, of letting me play with the guys. So he was very impactful.
Literally, my next question was, did you play with the guys? Because I mean, we hear it a lot. Like it's great for really high level women's players. It's just a different game, right? It's a little bit different, and that's why I practiced with the women's team. On my way over here, I was just looking at online. Dawn Staley there was a little video about she calls them the highlighters. It's a group of guys who wear these bright yellow shirts at South Carolina that play against the team, and it's great. So that's really cool. And Pete, we keep coming back to Pete Hayward, right? He was a true, just an innovator and had such a big impact on basketball in this county. And it's really cool to hear that he brought you along too.
He was really a big part of my success.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Who were the best teams in the MCal in the late 70s when you were playing?
So my freshman, sophomore year was Drake and MC.
Okay.
Players like Lori Saya, Odizio.
Yep.
Petra McAvoy, Eileen Burke. My junior, senior year, it was Redwood, Novato, and San Rafael.
Okay.
And with the likes of Sue Corder, Sue Farmer, Sue Bacon from Novato, and then Maureen McGrath. You probably hear some of these names.
Yep. She was a coach at Santa Fe later.
And then Nancy Camara Clary, who is an official, and an MCAL official, and further as an official.
Awesome. Were there any other Division I players along with you? Like, did any of those people go play D1?
There were. Not many, but there were. Sue Porter played at USF.
Okay.
Sue Farmer played at Cal Poly. There were a number of players I know played at the junior college. Petra McAvoy, Eileen Burke. Lori Sy ended up playing track, but she was a very good basketball player.
So in our Mike Saya, Ashley Saya interview, Mike was saying that I was asking him about playing one-on-one with his brother Jimmy. He's like, no, the one-on-one games were with my sister. And he said, it was a great line to him. He said, this usually ended in tears, and it wasn't always me, Mike, or it wasn't always my sister crying. Okay, so talk about your recruiting journey. How did you end up at Santa Clara?
Well, I think sometimes everything is a little bit of luck. So, to be honest, I was probably the fifth out of fifth. They had 5 people they interviewed. I knew I was not getting the job. I mean, I was young. I played there, but didn't have tons of experience, and went down there, interviewed, and I don't know what exactly happened, but I ended up getting offered the job, and I think Bill Nepfel helped a lot as well with that. I was working with him, and he, made some calls down there. So I say there's definitely a little luck sometimes, and what happens.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, how about when you were playing at Santa Clara? Like, when you show up as a freshman, you're really good at Redwood. You're kicking butt in the MCal. Are you really good as a freshman at Santa Clara, or do you get there and you're overwhelmed? Like, whoa, these people are really good. What was that like for you?
No, wasn't overwhelmed at all. Because originally, actually, I was going to UCLA as a walk-on, and I didn't end up going to Santa Clara until July.
Okay.
I mean, I had a dorm, I had everything at UCLA, and I was going to play there. And in those days, nothing scared me. I did not have any fear.
Yeah.
And I was confident enough that I could make the UCLA team. And then I get to Santa Clara. I was confident enough. I didn't actually start my first year. And now in hindsight, I realize I probably turned the ball over more than a coach would want as a freshman.
Right.
But, and I say this to the young players out there, if you work really hard, you are really aggressive, you get after it, you will find a way to play.
Yeah.
And I found a way to play.
Yeah. That's awesome. What was your coach like at Santa Clara?
Great guy, great coach. In those days, we were actually not the West Coast Conference. We were actually in the NORPAC.
Okay.
So it was USF Santa Clara, it was Oregon State, Washington State, Cal, and Stanford. Okay, so it was the NORPAC when I played for 4 years.
Okay.
So my coach was actually very calm, always willing to be there and work with you, and if you wanted to play one-on-one or you wanted, and he was a good player, he played at Cal. So he was always there for you. And one thing now, having been through everything, not just coaching, but having a daughter and coaching, I realized I never got yelled at. And that allowed me to just play. But it took me to be out of coaching to understand that.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of coach he is.
Interesting. So now let's jump back to you were starting to talk about when you got the job at Santa Clara. What kind of a coach were you?
Well, I definitely was intense.
Yeah.
And I would say I was hard on them, hard on the players, right?
Okay.
From a mental toughness standpoint, because to become a champion, right, you had to really be mentally tough. Never demeaning, never anything like that. Did I yell? Yes.
Yeah.
I never yelled usually at specific players, but as the team to try and motivate them as well, or get them fired up. And so I was a little feisty.
So you were a head coach at the Division I level for 17 years. Did that change over that time? Like, is the Caren in 1988 different than the Caren in 2004 as a coach?
I definitely think so, because when I first got the job at Santa Clara, I was only 25.
Wow, that's young.
The players are 21 and 22, right?
Exactly.
So I think ultimately I had to make sure to keep the distance between coach-player,
right?
That relationship, right? So I was probably a little harder earlier, and trying to turn a program around.
Yeah.
Right? So I think I maybe changed over time. If I was to go back now, after being out of coaching, I would be a much better coach.
Yeah.
Right? And I think a lot of people would probably say that. But you take that step back, you watch a lot of other people, not when you're in it and so intense.
Yeah.
And I would be a much better coach now.
Yeah. Well, you learn from experience, right? I mean, that's amazing how young you were coaching college kids. We were just talking to Chad Stewart, who got the San Marin job when he was in his early 20s, but that's high school kids.
Wow.
That's still young, but coaching college kids, I mean, they're literally your age, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
the good thing was I didn't know what I didn't know.
Sure.
And let me tell you what, that's the best thing that can happen.
Oh, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
I live my life that way. When you're at Santa Clara, you start off, you're rebuilding this program. I mean, you had great success there. You went over 200 games over your career. How did you build that program up? Was it recruiting? Was it your style of play? Like, what do you attribute the success to?
A lot of different things. I think number one, surround yourself with people that are really good.
Okay.
And so, one of my assistant coaches was Charlie Turner Thorne.
Oh, nice.
Who was for many years at Arizona State.
Sure.
And so she was my assistant for 3 years. And
Great
she's
coach.
outstanding, came from Washington.
Yeah.
And so over the years just had many good assistants, right? Chris Denker, Jennifer Young, a number of very good assistants. And so that was number one.
Yep.
Number two, if you don't get the players, good players make you a good coach.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And that number one player that helped turn us around was Melissa King.
Of course.
Who played at Terra Linda High School.
Marin County.
Phenomenal soccer player, phenomenal basketball player. And so when I got there, she had decided she wanted to leave Fresno State. She knew I was from Marin.
Okay.
And so ultimately she ended up transferring. In those days you had to sit out a year. So she played soccer in that year in between. And that was the first year soccer went to the Final Four. We're the first year. We go from 9-19 to 28-3 the year she comes in and plays.
Wow.
Okay, so Melissa was, impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We another friend of ours and a person we interviewed, Michelle Bravelli,
Oh, yes.
who we
Love
love. Michelle's awesome. So she was
University of San Diego.
USD. Yeah, I assume you were trying to get her too at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wanted Michelle. Michelle was awesome. So yeah, what was recruiting like for you as a coach? Was it hard? I mean, you're a very personable, outgoing person. I would think that recruiting would come naturally to you, but some coaches love it, some coaches absolutely hate it.
I started out loving it, and as time went on, I really did not love it.
It's a grind,
and
right?
It's a grind, and
Yeah.
sometimes you don't know why players make the decisions they make, right?
Yeah.
And so, one thing I always made sure to do when I was recruiting was if somebody chose a different school, I never ripped them. Hey, congratulations, great. Because one, happy for them, but you might get them back.
You never know.
If we're a WCC school, so when
Yeah.
I started coaching, we were in the WCC.
Yeah.
When I played, we were in the NARPAC. So coaching WCC, I had a player go to Clemson. And okay, but she went to the South. She was from, and I just thought we might get her back. Sure enough, we got her back, and that was another time NC2As. So these transfers
Yeah.
back then even made a huge difference in the program.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the first players was Julie Leonard that I had recruited out of a junior college at Santa Clara. It was my first year, and she was definitely a big part of our winning the NIT.
I mean, even today, even more so today, right, with the transfer portal and the fluidity of players, that's even more important, right? I mean, we're dealing with this with, obviously, Kylie on our team has been recruited by a bunch of people. She just committed to Stanford, but we were talking about how it's so hard to tell these schools no.
Right.
But, the way you handle that, you handle it professionally, and the way the coaches respond is really important because you never know, right? It's a small world. Congratulations, happy for you. Let me know what we can do for you in the future, right?
Yeah, definitely. And they're
it's-
only 17.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the way kids are moving these days, they have 1 year where they don't like a school and they transfer. I don't really like that, but
Right.
it's a reality of recruiting these days.
Yeah.
Ashley Saya gave us a really good point. She was saying that an answer is good. Like as a coach, it's being strung along and not knowing, that's what kills you. So
That's true.
A no, sure, it sucks, but you said a no is so much better than a non-answer.
A no early is better than no answer late.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
You can move on. There's a lot of players out there. We'll move on.
That's right.
So
Dave, I'd like to just bring it back to
Yeah.
the one thing you said, because, players leave because they don't like it. Okay, but that's not the way it is anymore, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately, unfortunately. In the old days, it might have been they were leaving because they had to sit out a year. They were leaving because it wasn't a right fit, whatever reasons. Now, you have NIL money.
right.
They're leaving for the NIL money.
It's a business decision.
It is a business decision. They're leaving for the NIL money. They're, leaving because, they want a national championship now, and I have a better chance there.
Yeah.
I did really well here. They could love the coach. They could love the program. But if they think over here they have a better chance of winning a national championship, they'll go. And if they don't have to sit out a year, there's no, no
Totally.
repercussions.
Totally.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's a lot more than that now, which all of these things, I really feel sorry for the high school kids today,
Yeah.
because with the transfer portal, they're going shopping in the portal. They're bringing foreign kids over. You've got many teams that have 9 and 10 kids. That means less spots for the high school kids, and I do not think that's right.
So we were talking to Tyler Gaffney. It's weird. Like we've done so many of these interview stuff. We have so many things to pull from these different interviews. It's great. But Tyler, great guy, coach at San Domenico, played at Branson, and was a Division III All-American at Claremont as a player. Great player. But we were talking about playing Division III, and he was saying that even when he played, this whole Division I or bust thing is not. He doesn't like that attitude, right? He said, look, if you play Division I, great, but there's really good basketball, Division II, Division III, and he said even now more than ever, because of exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
Because of NIL, transfer portal, broader reach of these schools, there's so much fluidity that now the Division I spots are really hard to come by. You just have really good players that maybe previously would go Division I who are now filtering down to Division II, Division III.
That's right.
Tim Lacoste has a player, Haley Hoff, who was at Pepperdine last year. She transferred to play for him. You know, so you have D1 players transferring down to D2 because she loves Tim and she's gonna they're a fun team to play for. It's gonna be great. So it's really interesting what you're talking about. I think the result is you see a lot more competition at the D2 and D3 level and NAIA levels.
Definitely, which is going to be outstanding, really.
Which is great.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, what was your coaching philosophy when you were coaching? Were you guys a full court press, defense first kind of a team? What was your offensive philosophy? Just let's get into the locker room of Caren's teams.
So we were a pressure defensive team and really focused on our defense, and we were going to be good defensively. And we were good defensively. And one year we were number 1 in the nation in field goal percentage defense. So, you know, that was great.
Yeah.
It's funny because now I think I would be a little more offensive oriented because it's more fun. And, you know, some kids might not be great defensively, right? And, you know, now you've got the Steph Currys and, you know, all the people they see. And
Caitlin Clark.
And Caitlin Clark, thank you.
Thank
you. One my favorite, I mean, everybody's favorite player, right?
Amazing.
Or Paige Bookers or, you know, whoever. But, you know, now... So I might change that a little bit. We had success because of our defense, and our defense led to our offense. You know, offensively, I did change depending on personnel.
Sure.
We had one offense I loved when Charlie left, and she ended up went to Northern Arizona and then to Arizona State. I hired a guy named Chris Denker, and we kind of studied an offense that we called box, and it was really good, and our field goal percentage went way up. Sometimes when you're a great pressuring defensive team, you get moving so fast and so hyper on defense that you don't slow down on offense, and it's really hard to get you to have composure on offense.
Right.
This offense in particular really helped us.
Duffy has an item.
Oh,
he
he does?
like to know more about the box.
I was going to say, can you draw it up for us,
Oh,
Caren?
I sure
We've
can.
got a nice white wall over here.
Yeah.
Let me grab a pencil.
Caren would love us to just draw all over her office here.
I love that offense, and every now and then I'll see it. And actually, this is kind of interesting, you guys might like. We called our back doors. So I always had the philosophy, you need to read the defense, read and react. And, you know, Chris would say, hey, let's call them. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure, you know. And we started calling them, and I am telling you, turnovers went down. And
so you call them from the bench?
Call them from the bench.
Would they know when not to throw it? Would they know when it was covered? I guess with enough practice?
Yeah. But the thing was, no matter what, they have to go back door.
They got to cut.
No matter what, you got. I mean, just like anytime you make a back door, right? You got to
go. Right.
Right. Yeah.
So we talk a lot on this podcast about the difference in styles today versus, you know, when Duffy and I were playing, when you were playing, when you were coaching.
Yeah.
The modern game is free-flowing, 5-out, dribble drive. So it's interesting, you talk about how maybe your philosophy would be different now versus then. I mean, what would you as a player today, what was your game? So let's go back to you as a player. You could score a lot. Do you think you'd score even more in today's game? Or
No, not necessarily. First of all, we played with the men's ball. I want to date myself. Okay, we played with the men's ball, and we did not have a three-point line. Okay, so that's a big change, right? Now, I was kind of against the women's ball, but I changed very quickly because of passing and the quick passes and you know, a lot of different things and shooting range and that type of thing.
So where would you get your points, Caren? Were you a mid-range? Were you in the post? What was your game?
Any which way and not a three-point shooter. Okay, so as a scorer, I like to work off screens.
Yep.
My biggest thing was driving to the basket. You know, I could draw fouls. Kind of a bull in a china cabinet, not pretty. Wasn't pretty.
Jump hook.
Jump hook.
Jump
there
hook.
You go.
Thank you,
That's
Pete
right.
Hayward.
That's
Right
right.
and left.
There you go. Yeah, not pretty. Not pretty. Kind of a bull in a china cabinet.
I like it.
Yeah,
like it.
but today you see so much dribble drive. I'm not a fan of that. I
Yeah.
prefer screens.
Yeah.
I prefer seeing screens. I think the offenses are better with screens, whether you have a post player or you don't. But the dribble drive, and my teams at Santa Clara were always 3-point shooters. We always had 3-point shooters, and I love 3-point shooters, but I don't like dribble drive.
Yeah. Gotcha. Interesting. So we're jumping back to your coaching now. All right, so you leave Santa Clara, you go to Cal. What was that like, going to the Pac-10?
Absolutely awesome. Awesome. It was a hard 5 years.
Yeah.
And, I can tell you more about that. But first of all, I didn't think I would ever leave Santa Clara.
Yeah.
It was an amazing place. It's an amazing school. It was successful, all of that. So I kind of said no a couple times to Cal, and they're like, come on, let's go to dinner. Okay. And I was 8 months pregnant at the time. So, my husband was like, you can't do that. I know how hard you had to work when, you were building a program at Santa Clara.
Sure.
And then over time, I don't know, we got a little more into it, and I ended up taking the job, and he supported that. He said, okay, makes sense. We're from Marin. We can live in Marin. Parents here to take care of the baby.
Yep.
Right? So I accepted the job. And it was probably one of the best decisions I could make.
Awesome.
And it was an amazing experience. So, a tough 5 years. I had 2 kids in 3 years.
Wow.
I had a player die in my 4th year.
Yeah.
We were getting votes in the top 20 at that time.
Yeah.
And then we ended up losing 8 in a row. And then, I had 4 athletic directors in 5 years. So it was but all of that, the experience. I mean, playing in the Pac-10, the media, the excitement, the fans in the stands, the going to other places and having 10,000 people in the stands was awesome.
Did you guys ever beat Tara?
When I was at Santa Clara, we beat Tara. When we were at Cal, I did not.
All right.
Yeah, and I think she is, if not the best coach in the nation, one of the best coaches in the nation.
Can't disagree with you, Caren. She's amazing. So at Cal, I mean, what did you notice about the difference in Pac-10 versus WCC? Did you notice, so when you're recruiting, is the caliber of player that you're recruiting substantially higher at Cal versus Santa Clara, or was it not that big a change?
So, I mean, I had a number of players that could have played in the Pac-12, right?
Yeah.
And various schools in the WCC did.
Yeah.
You have more of the top players in the Pac-12, and even some, say, at that higher level. But, Melissa King was a regional All-American, and had we beat Cal that particular year, which we did later in the first round of the NC2As, but it wasn't, that year, she probably would have been an All-American. In my opinion, I'm pretty confident she would have been an All-American, but that year we didn't beat Cal. But so I think, in general, the level of competition in the Pac-12 is considerably higher.
Yeah. Well, and I remember when you left Cal, you had an amazing recruiting class, right? Like, I mean, you brought in some really good players at Cal.
Local players
that Tara was trying to get, I mean, that everybody was trying to get, and you got them. So talk about that.
We started recruiting them in 8th grade. So when I got there and we were trying to figure out, okay, who we're going to recruit, what's going on, we heard about these kids. Yeah. And they were in our backyard, and we needed to make sure we got them. And they ended up deciding, Cal was the place for them.
Yeah.
And we were ecstatic, and a lot of them were friends. And we got a verbal commitment from one of the players that maybe wasn't as strong as the other players. We got that verbal commitment like 4 months before the rest of them, and we took it.
Huh.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then
you build on that.
We built on that.
Yeah.
And then the others came.
Yeah.
The 2 we didn't get were the Paris twins.
Oh.
And we really wanted them. Their brother ended up transferring out of Cal, and their father was from, I think it was a Big Ten school, Big Ten or Big 12.
And Bubba played for the 49ers.
And then, so Bubba was, their dad really wanted them to go to Big Ten.
And they went to Oklahoma.
And they did, ended up in Oklahoma.
We were talking about them with Ashley Saya, because we'll get to this for crunch time for you, but we were asking toughest player you've ever played against, and Ashley Saya said the Paris twins, and I was like, wow, that's a height difference. And her dad pointed out, I didn't get the chance to comment on it, her dad pointed out that Ashley took a charge against them, against one of them.
Did she really?
Yeah. Ashley's tough.
She is.
Yeah.
I remember Ashley, and I just loved her. I loved her as a player. I've known Mike for years. He was one of the ones playing in the gym, when
I'm sure. You were contemporaries.
Yeah, so we've
just
known
love
each other
them.
a long time. And I always loved Ashley.
Such a good coach.
And love her as a coach.
So, I love watching, just like I love taking my daughter and her team to watch Kylie play. Mm-hmm. When Kylie left to go to San Diego, the last 2 years, I've taken my team, my CYO team that I coached, to go watch Marin Catholic girls play.
Yeah, awesome.
And I point out to them how hard they play, how they play on the defensive end. They switch from, I'm a man-to-man, or as Tara would say, player-to-player coach, but I love how Ashley incorporates the 1-3-1 trap every now and then, and she mixes it up, and she just gets them. They're all bought in. I think Ashley's a fantastic coach, and Mike as well.
Well, they're committed. They're committed also, and that's hard in high school. I mean, it's all volunteer basically.
Totally. So let's talk about 1996 and your Olympic selection. You're on the committee. Talk about that. What was your role? How did you get selected to do that? I mean, what a cool honor.
Well, it was a 4-year stint. And I think because of the success we had at Santa Clara, and they were looking for more of a diverse committee, right? Not just, top 5 schools, top 10 schools, smaller schools. And so I think that's how I ended up getting chosen. But it was a great, great experience, headed out to Colorado Springs a couple times a year, watch those players play. I mean, the best of the best. And was able to coach an East Festival team, which are the younger teams, and it was outstanding. So
great.
The experience of being on the committee with, some of the top coaches was outstanding. There were also D2 coaches and maybe D3 coach.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but was a good group. And then the committee would then work with Tara,
right,
who's amazing.
Right. And Tara coached that team, and listeners, this was a really important moment in women's basketball history, because this was a time where the thought of having a pro league was percolating, and the NBA was considering funding the league, but they wanted to see basically, and this is the point of the documentary that I recommend everybody watch called Dream On ESPN, the NBA wanted to see, okay, how does this Olympic team do? If we really put our best out there, kind of like the Dream Team in '92 for the men, if we have the best women's team on the world stage, will people care? And the answer is a resounding yes. The team was fantastic. Tara did a great job getting them a gold medal. They had great personalities. They had a great mix of players. And that led to the creation of the WNBA. Mm-hmm. And here we are now, almost 30 years later, the WNBA is doing great, and now women have the chance to play pro basketball in the U.S., where they didn't back in your day, Caren, when you were playing.
That's right.
You were a great player, you had to go to Greece to play pro basketball, right?
Right?
So that was a really important kind of seminal moment for women's basketball.
There was a league called the ABA, but it only lasted like a couple of years.
I remember it. A few of my Stanford teammates played on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it never really caught on, which is too bad.
Didn't.
Yeah.
And one of the best things was that particular year, the Olympics were in Atlanta. And
right.
So that was huge. They do this year program, Tara's, the head coach, and take the gold in Atlanta. So that was huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. Okay, so let's fast forward now to, so your coaching career is done, or your D1 coaching career is done, and now you're a mom, you're a professional, you're working in real estate, and you have this daughter who's an unbelievable basketball player, and she's playing youth basketball, and you can tell Kylie, when she was young, right? She was playing against the boys, right?
She was. A year up.
Year up. So she's a sixth grader. She's playing against seventh grade boys in CYO, and she's really, really good. She goes to Redwood. She's all league. She's an amazing player. You could see, you walk into the gym and you see, okay, that kid's different, and Kylie was just different. So talk about her recruiting journey, and for you as a mom, but you've been through this as a coach, you've been through this as yourself as a player. So what was that like as a mom going through this recruiting journey again?
Well, first of all, I didn't care what sport she played, and she probably could have played college soccer at some point. But so I really didn't care, so I didn't push her, and I saw enough parents push their kids that they either had a bad experience, they transferred, whatever. So I was hoping that I would learn from that, right, and not be that kind of parent. So it was absolutely exciting, and Kylie wanted to make sure it was her. Not that my connections had anything to do with her. getting a scholarship, which when a coach's job is on the line, right, because of wins and losses, in the end, it wouldn't matter. You're only going to recruit somebody because you think they're going to make you better, right? But, your daughter might not understand that.
Right.
So she, of course, wanted me involved, and I was involved, but I never, ever really stepped in unless she wanted me to talk to the coaches, or the coaches wanted to talk to me.
Yeah.
And so she really did a great job just handling that herself.
So what were her top choices aside from USD?
Santa Clara. So probably she was kind of excited about the legacy there.
Yeah.
And about 2 weeks before she committed to San Diego, she was going to Santa Clara.
Oh,
and then she changed because I think, I think she loves San Diego. I love San Diego. I love visiting San Diego.
Yeah.
But so she just kind of flip-flopped for, whatever reason. And I think, maybe part of that was a few people saying, hey, you want to go build your own name. You want to go build your own legacy. You don't want to, be in the shadow of, your mom's legacy.
Right.
And that might have helped, sway her a little bit.
Yeah. Duff.
Now I want to jump back and ask.
Oh, okay.
As she's developing as a player, what was your role? Did you play a lot of one-on-one? Did you help with drills? Were you hands-off? When did she become like a self-starter, if she was one?
Right, she was always a self-starter. I used to, when she was younger, say, hey, yeah, you want to go out? And then I learned, right? No, she'll ask me, and she asked me all the time. So I rebounded for her. Of course, I was coaching her along certain things, but basically was her rebounder when she asked me. And I only go now if she asks me.
And did you play one-on-one for a period of time? Did she challenge you?
I would love to. First of all, she was just a lot better than I ever was. I mean, and that's how the game has evolved, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I never lifted. I never, trained the way they train now. But anyway, so to tell you the truth, because of my knees, I can't even play one-on-one. Yeah, and it would just be like Olay with the red... the red flag, and she'd go right by.
Duffy doesn't understand. I get it.
That's what what your hands are for.
That's right, to grab her. Yeah. So unfortunately, that wasn't. I couldn't. Yeah, I would have liked to, but.
What was her? That's a good question, Duffy. So what were her skills trainers? Like, did she have people she worked out with? Did she? Have coaches who she liked to.
As time kind of went on, Stevie Johnson.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Love Stevie.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else she did work out with. A guy, Keith Lay, over in the East Bay.
Okay.
She was with Cal Stars, so she had a lot of training with the Cal. Not individual training necessarily, but just their practices in the Cal Stars. So, yeah, we would drive over there like 3 times a week.
So that was my next question for you. Was AAU. So we talked about this with KK.
Yeah.
Love KK.
Great player.
She speaks very highly of you. Good friends with Kylie, obviously. So we talked about her Cal Stars experience. So talk about your perspective on Cal Stars and how that was for Kylie.
Yeah, well, first of all, I took Kylie over to the Olympic Cup. We looked at a couple different programs. I just led her, and she loved their intensity. She loved the intensity with which they played at. She loved the skill with which they played at. She's like, Mom, this is where I want to play. I said, okay. And so, we trek over there 3 times a week.
Putting some miles on the car.
But hours, getting there, right?
Yeah.
To, Walnut Creek or wherever. But it was a great experience. And, there were some, tough times too. At a critical time, Kylie ended up getting injured. And she was on a great team. It was the 16s with really good players. She went through training camp and on Monday said, hey, Mom, my foot's really hurting. I don't think I can walk on it. And she had a stress fracture in her metatarsals, and that knocked her out of that. It was a Nike-sponsored team. It was a really good team. So, sometimes, things happen for reasons, and, you go with it, and you go with the flow. So she wasn't able to play that summer, which was, I think that was her sophomore summer. That was her sophomore summer because you had junior summer and then, COVID.
COVID, right?
Yeah.
Of course. And she, if I remember correctly, Caren, she accelerated her graduation at Redwood to get down to USD quicker, right?
She did.
Yeah.
So she had about maybe 15 offers and, loved a number of different schools, and a couple of them didn't offer, right? And so when you had asked me about, who was recruiting her, right?
Yeah.
And then those kind of were the 2 she had narrowed it down to and then decided. But then she has had so many wonderful opportunities at San Diego, and so they called her in. So we're in COVID. She doesn't know whether she's going to have a season or not.
Yeah.
Right? And San Diego calls and says, hey, would you want to graduate early and come down here? And that was like the end of December. It was like maybe mid-December.
I remember.
It was like mid-December.
Yeah.
And so she says, hey, Mom, San Diego asked me if I want to come down early, but I don't know if they were serious. I said, well, if I get a call tomorrow morning, they're serious. And guess what? Got a call tomorrow morning, the next morning. And they said, hey, we'd really like her to do it. Kylie had one class she had to take, which was an econ class. She was able to take it online. Somehow she did it in a week. The guy he was from San Diego, the teacher.
Yeah.
And was like a football coach. So it was really cool, and she did really well in the class.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, well, we better make sure all the ducks fall in line, because if she graduates from Redwood,
Yeah.
and the ducks don't fall in line for USD, because, we're talking, this is later than mid-December.
Yeah.
We've got to get a hold of Redwood. If this doesn't work out, she's going to lose her senior season.
Right.
Right? So there was a little faith there.
Wow.
Anyway, it all worked out. And she got in 7 games. And it was pretty cool for her. And it let her get a head start on her college experience.
So I remember this because, and I'm telling this story only because it demonstrates the work ethic of Kylie. This was a time where she would work out with my daughter every now and then,
Right.
and some of the kids who I coached.
Yeah, she
and
loved it.
And I
She
texted her.
loved it.
Yeah, and she was great at it. And I texted her. I remember this vividly over winter break, saying, "Hey, do you have time to work out with Lucy and some of our players?" And she said, "Would love to. Need to finish a class so I can graduate in a week."
That was at that time.
That was at that time.
Wow.
And so then she explained to me, I got a chance to go down here early and stuff. And I just thought, man, that's, she plays hard on the court. She plays hard off the court. She's just one of those really driven people.
Opportunity, right? It was a
Yeah.
great opportunity, whether she got in a game or didn't get in a game.
Right. But how great for her to get a head start on her college experience
Right.
like that. So that was really cool.
She was lucky.
So taking a step back to Cal Stars, I just want to close the loop on AAU because I'm interested in your perspective on AAU. We've talked about this a lot with people. It's good and bad. It's a reality. It's growing in popularity. Club basketball is a really big deal, right? It's a great way for kids to get exposure. For you, sound like a positive thing for Kylie, at least in terms of she played with really good players. Sounds like she got really good coaching. She got looks from a lot of schools. That's fantastic. What's your thought on AAU basketball?
Well, it's not going to go away. I think the coaches make a lot of money. I think if I had a frustration first with it is that I really believe that players should be able to play as many sports as they can at younger ages. That's completely gone out the door
Yeah.
because of AAU sports,
Yeah.
right? But from a college perspective, right, that's where you're going to go, and that's where a recruiter's going. We're going to go to the AAU games because you have the most talent on a team, and we're going to get to see as many kids as possible. So, with that said, what I would tell the young players is you got to make sure it's right for you. And I would add that by saying, and make sure they put you in the correct position. Because
Yeah.
when you are playing out of position, because you're the tallest, and yet,
Yeah.
so this did happen a little bit to Kylie, right? They're putting her at the 4, but for college, she needs to be the 2 or 3.
Right.
And she's not even that big, and she's 6 feet now. She did end up playing for a different team that was playing her more as a guard that
Okay.
last year. But I would say to any player, you got to make sure that they're going to play in the right position.
So how does that conversation go? Because it seems like nowadays, no one wants to play the 4 or 5, even if they're 7 foot, even if they're Wendy, right? They still want to play.
What's a
one-
4 and what's a 5?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's
So
a guard.
That's
I guess
right,
You
that's
just have
right.
to change the style so that everyone can handle the ball, right? But those conversations seem like they're challenging when you have a lot of everyone wants to handle the ball and they all can handle the ball.
Right.
And
Well, we just had Rick Winter on, who was a fantastic conversation, and Rick has been very deliberate with NBBA coaches across the board, and I coach NBBA. He said, we're running 5 out, read and react
Wow.
across the board for that reason, because it's universal, right? And so if I'm coaching a kid from TAM and I'm coaching a kid from Terra Linda, whatever system they run,
Right.
we're going to run 5 out so that they just know how to play,
Yeah.
right? And it's read, react, it's pass, screen away, pass and cut, kind of universal, just not teaching them plays, teaching them how to play,
Yeah.
right? So that's Rick's philosophy, and I think that's been a really good thing. I think 24/8 does the same thing. So, you know,
Yeah.
but it's a good point, Duff.
So the only thing that I would say with that is, if a kid isn't going to play in college, does it matter? No.
Yeah.
But if a kid has some potential to play in college, like Carly
Yeah.
Anborn, a couple years ago, I said, Carly, don't let anybody put you in the post. You need to be a point guard.
Yeah.
You need to be a point guard at 6, whatever, figuring she's going to be 6'2".
Yeah.
Because that's how you're going to get recruited at the top schools, right? So if somebody is a really good player
Yeah.
and they're 6'1", 6'2", I'd say play a point guard. Because a point guard, once you play a point guard, you can play a 1, 2, or 3.
You can do anything. Yeah.
And then, is it okay if they post you up? Yes, it's okay if you go in and post up. But that's not going to be your predominant position.
Yeah.
Carly, if you're listening, Dave's going to play you as a decoy,
That's right.
Oh.
left corner or right corner.
You're not touching the ball, Carly, ever.
Just
She's
kidding,
committed.
just kidding.
She's committed. I kind of forgot about that whole thing with Coach over here. But anyway, she's committed. So, play her wherever you want. But yes,
Carly,
that
you're
was
going
my
to get
advice,
plenty
right?
of shots, Carly,
Yeah.
wherever you want them. Okay, Caren,
Yes.
we've reached crunch time.
Oh, God.
Oh, yes.
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh,
Uh-oh,
do you want some iced coffee, Dave? I did bring iced coffee.
Duffy and I have iced coffee. Caren is not having some iced coffee. She's too good for iced coffee.
You're good, Dave?
I'm good, buddy. Thank you. Okay, Caren, toughest player you've ever played against?
Okay. So, toughest player I ever played against. That is tough because, one, it was so long ago. Okay.
That's fine.
But I would say there were are you talking in college,
Sure.
right? Most
Yeah.
likely in college.
Yeah.
Anytime, though.
Anytime. It could
Anytime?
be. It could be one of the guys in the Drake gym. I don't know. Could be Duffy. You never played against Duffy.
Okay, I'm
I
going to
challenge
answer
you.
it like this. I have to say this because this was so unique, and I was like, I couldn't stop her.
Yeah.
And this was Pat Head Summit,
Oh.
who was a coach, but where I played with her was at a basketball camp when I was going to be a senior. And I'm defending her, and she hits a hook shot on me, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
who is this? What the heck? You're not getting another one. So I take away that, I think she went to her right hand.
Yeah.
And the next time she comes right on down and scores on the left-hand hook shot, okay? And I have to say, I was like, whoa, who is this person? I didn't know until later, like days later, who it was. And it was Pat Head Summit, who was the Tennessee coach. And
Legendary
Legend.
coach.
yeah. But,
That's a good answer.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
just leave it at that.
Brian Wright, if you're listening, that's what we want to, where we want to get with you. Right hand and then left hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Archie Williams, stud. Okay, how about the toughest coach you coached against, or who scared you? Like when you're facing this
Well,
team,
I
like,
like
oh
to
boy.
think that I didn't get scared by really anybody.
Yeah.
But I would say the toughest coach, I think, is Tara Vanderveer, Stanford coach.
Just because she prepares them so well.
Because
so
they are
good.
so prepared.
Yeah.
They're so prepared. She knows exactly how to break down a defense.
Yeah.
And she also has very good players.
And,
That-
and assistants.
And assistants. That's right.
And practice players.
And practice
Of
players.
course.
I tracked deflections. I was telling my San Domenico girls yesterday, my job on the bench during games was I tracked deflections.
Oh, yeah.
And that was
Nice, I like
Tara.
that.
And Tara was early
she
to
was
that.
big on that.
This was way before.
that.
This was 1995, kids. This was way before iPads, and I mean there were computers, but still. But I had a notepad, and I wrote down the roster, and I had little lines, and I would track deflections. And at halftime, say, "All right, Dave, how are we doing? Who's winning the deflection game?"
Yeah.
And I better have that answer, or
Oh,
else.
my gosh.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Don't deflect that question, Dave.
That's right. Oh, so clever, Duffy. Okay, favorite gym in Marin, Caren.
Come on. Redwood by far.
Okay,
By far.
no discussion.
Definitive.
No
Definitive answer.
Biggest gym. Good shape. Awesome.
Has it changed a lot since you played there?
No.
But it's still the best gym. It's big.
It really is.
Yeah, it's great. They have the playoffs there. Okay, you're heading down to play pickup. You have a dream team. Your knees are fine. You can play. It's you and 4 people. Who are you going with?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't pick my Marin County team. First of all, I would pick Kylie Horstmeyer.
I was going to say, your daughter better be on that team.
I'm picking my daughter.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm taking Kylie.
Yep.
Taking Melissa King.
Great.
Jennifer Lucas was an outstanding player here who won a state championship
Yep.
from Nevada. So I'm taking her. Let's see. So I said Christine, Melissa, Jen, Christine Chapelis.
Your sister?
Okay. How can I not? Brooke.
Brooke Smith.
Okay, I've got a couple. I mean, Carrie Barrett, who also played at Nevada. And
Going to be a guest on this podcast.
Is she good?
Yes.
Yeah. And did I forget anybody on my team?
You got a good squad.
Is that? Yeah, I like that squad. Oh, how can I forget? Kiki Williams.
Kiki, love Kiki.
Outstanding scorer from Terra Linda.
Played for Fulton. We were just, I was just texting with Diane Peterson's going to be on. I want to get Kiki
good.
on as well.
Good.
Kiki was a
Both
great player.
great.
Played for Cal, right? Played for you at Cal.
4 years.
Yep. Love Kiki.
I recruited her at Santa Clara, actually.
Great player. Her husband, Matt Smallback, good friend of ours.
Oh, nice.
Stateroom, Centerfell, great
Yeah.
restaurant. Not a sponsor, but will be soon. Okay. Greatest MCal player and coach in history, and I want you to answer boys and men and women.
Greatest.
MCal player and coach, and I want it from the boys and for the
The
women.
boys and the girls. Well, first of all, I feel strongly about Pete Hayward.
Okay, that's a
as
good
the
answer.
boys coach. And the boys player, maybe Mike Sy, Eddie Joe Chavez.
Okay,
Eddie Joe Chavez.
Lots of nepotism. Lots of nepotism in this country.
I like it.
As there often is.
Eddie Joe, I like the Mike Saya call. I said to Mike when I introduced him, I said, a lot of people say that you're one of the best ever. He's like, no, whatever. But Mike's so humble, but Mike could play.
Well, and I've got to say, I always liked, this is a newer kid, right?
Yeah.
Is Calcaterra.
Oh, Joey's amazing.
I thought he was outstanding. I thought I would have liked to have seen him play even more at San Diego, but then to get to Connecticut and do what they did.
And win the
he
national
was-
title.
Yeah, it was just awesome, and he got to play, and I just like him as a player a lot.
That's a great
Yeah.
answer. Okay, girls' side.
Girls' side, best coach?
Yep,
Probably Ron Wheatley.
Novato.
Novato and San Rafael.
Right.
Well, yeah, okay. So we'll say that because of just over time history.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, yeah. And then best player?
You can say you.
No, no way. Brooke Smith and Melissa King.
Okay.
Brooke Smith, Melissa King, Jen Lucas.
Good answers. Brooke Smith, only, as we've said, only McDonald's All-American in Marin
That's right.
history, boys
That's
or
right.
girls.
That's right.
Yep.
And tough to defend. I mean, I had to play against her. She was a pain to play against.
Yep, and went to Duke.
Couldn't stop her.
Went to Duke for a year and then transferred and played for Tara at Stanford and then played in the WNBA and won a WNBA title.
I don't think I realized that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brooke could play, and a fabulous person, too.
You're working on her bio for her appearance on the podcast.
I don't even need to work on it. I just know it because
That's right.
she's amazing. Okay, Caren, very important question. Favorite restaurant in Marin?
The Buckeye.
Oh, good answer. That's a great one.
Thank you. Love it.
Love the Buckeye.
Yeah.
Good celebratory place. And then final one, Caren.
Uh-oh.
Are housing prices going up or down?
Great question, right? We've had lots of good times for sellers, and now there's some opportunity for buyers.
Spoken like a experienced real estate agent.
And interest rates.
Interest rates just bumped down a little bit, but a little rocky road with the interest rates.
Yep.
But you know what? There's always people, they have to buy a home and they have to sell a home, and now's a great time to get in because when those interest rates go down, there's going to be a frenzy of buyers out there. So now, suck it up.
It's a good time.
Good time to buy a house, even at the interest rate, and then refi down the road.
Awesome.
And Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin going?
We're not talking about that.
Yeah, not for me to answer that one. No idea.
Awesome. Well, Caren, it's been so fun to talk to you. We jumped around just because I have so many questions for you, and you have such a broad experience as a player, as a coach, as a parent, as an Olympic selection committee. Amazing career. Thank you for all that you've done for Marin basketball. Thank you for supporting our podcast and being a fan and listener early on. That gave us good confidence that, all right, if Caren Horstmeyer is listening, we must be doing something right. So really fun to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you both for having me and doing this for Marin County. I mean, this is the best thing, one of the best things that could happen for Marin County. Basketball, athletics, I think is fantastic, and we have so many wonderful coaches and players here. So
Agreed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Burke's on his feet. He looks up and gives me a grin and says,
Hey, dude, you too must be from Marin.
Marin County's A-OK, from Tampa Stinson all the way to MA. Fresh organic veggies in the market every day.